graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You know, I've been from one side of this fandom to the other. In all that time, I have seen a lot of things. Above all that, there is one thing I am absolutely certain of. I am the villain of this story. You know what time it is, Valhalla? Greetings. Welcome to Mischief. I'm your host, Loki, and we are going to do something that I like to call the best of series. Every Friday, we're going to take a director and we're going to look at what he's done good, what he's done bad, and try and end the week on a little bit of a high note. I got sick and tired of so much bad shit happening during the week, so much stuff that we have chewed up and spit out, that I really want to leave the week on a positive note and talk about some good movies. So we are going to look at Steven Spielberg this morning. My panel is Dave Bob, the Rooster in the Hen House. How are you doing? Good morning. We have got Josh from Project Storytime. How are you doing, brother?
Hello, glad to be here.
And we have got one half of Tag Team Valkyrie, Purple Valkyrie. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we are going to talk, like I said, we're going to talk some Spielberg. So, I don't know about y'all, but the only place I think I can start is Indiana Jones. I think that's the first one. That's the first one I remember is Raiders.
For me, it was Jaws.
Yes, I've got to admit, who doesn't love Raiders of the Lost Ark? I mean, come on.
I think the first Spielberg film I ever saw was E.T., but yeah, Raiders is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, Raiders by far is the best film he's ever made.
Do you think that's the best of the Indiana Jones series is Raiders?
Oh yeah.
For me it is, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I love Raiders, but honestly, it's Last Crusade for me. Last Crusade because Connery came in and played such a good dad, I guess. We named the dog Indiana. The dog? You were named after the dog? Seeing that dynamic, getting our first look at, Kid Indy when he was a kid.
River Phoenix, wasn't it?
Yeah, River Phoenix, the late, great River Phoenix. That was one of those actors that just, man, that was such a huge loss. I so expected him. I'd watched him since he was in Explorers when he was a kid, You know, he was a kid in Explorers. He played this glasses. He wore glasses. He was like kind of like a Dr. Geek kid. And man, that was just River Phoenix. What a loss. Clown World review, $2 super chat. I used to clean Spielberg parents. Well, no shit. That's insane. Thank you, brother. And Skull.
I didn't know you were the last man. Oh, that was one of the best lines of the movie.
And Mexican Iron Man apparently does not like Steven Spielberg. He wishes the shark had eaten him.
I like all of the Indiana Jones films. I mean, I've got to admit, I haven't seen Crystal Skull.
Keep it that way.
As I say, most people say it's not worth watching anyway, so it's probably just as well.
Not unless you want to see him escape an atomic bomb in a refrigerator.
I've heard about that, yeah. But I love the cast.
Humor and Waffles
equals Satan. Mexican Iron Man really doesn't like him.
No. Humor and Waffles' Last Crusade is Spielberg admitting he's a closet Christian. You must believe, boy. Oh, yeah, Empire of the Sun. I totally forgot about that. Empire of the Sun.
When he was a little kid.
Man, that was Christian Bale?
Yep.
No shit. See, that's another one I haven't seen since it was like VHS. Because my parents were huge Spielberg fans. So that's another movie I haven't seen since I was a kid. I did not know that was Christian Bale.
Yeah, I think that was his first acting role, if I remember correctly, at least mainstream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
I still remember to this day that pilot going by in that P-51 Mustang and saluting at him. Said that was like a 3/4 scale thing with a dummy or something in it. I can't remember.
And Melissa Lord with a $5 super chat. Thank you so very much, Melissa. And she says, good morning, Loki. Last Crusade is the best. I'm just sad and angry about Gina. So are we, Melissa. Yeah. So are we. We were so pissed off yesterday. That was absolutely insane. River was so good as well as Connery. They were. First Spielberg movie was Jaws. So many people saw Jaws first. But I agree, River and Connery. And River went way too young. We should have gotten so much more of River Phoenix.
Well, that's the way a lot of the younger actors in Hollywood, they get into the drugs and stuff, and it just kind of, they go off the rails.
And Mary's Game Room, I hated AI. You weren't the only one. I was so excited for this movie, and it was just a complete bore.
We were talking about that before the show, how bad that movie was.
Yes. Yeah, we were. Not one of his better films. I mean, going through his filmography, and he hit his kind of high point in the 90s, throughout the 90s and 80s. That was his kind of best period. I think some of the later films just weren't that great.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about Ready Player One, which is one of his most recent films.
One I really enjoyed back in the early 2000s was that Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and that was that movie right
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He even had Jennifer Garner in there. She played that call girl. And she got him to write that one check over to him. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that. That was one of the better chase movies I've ever seen in my life.
And YTL says, Fanta! Wanna Fanta? And Mexican Iron Man's still going off in chat. He's completely lost it. He hates him. Nightcrawler, Close Encounters of the Third Kind was my first Spielberg movie. It's got to be that or Jaws for my second.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I remember the mountain. Oh man, the mashed potato mountain. I had to I remember asking my dad, what the hell is the movie with the mashed potato mountain? He's like, what? I'm like, the mashed potato mountain. The giant mountain. He cuts the top of it off. He goes, oh, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'm like, yes, I want to watch that.
that was funny when he was making that mashed potato mountain.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, then he goes completely off the rails and makes the huge one in his living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've been to Devil's Tower, and it's you can't unsee the movie at any point because it's such a unique location.
Yeah, all them Jurassic Park movies, those were kind of groundbreaking.
Oh yeah,
I loved the first Jurassic Park film.
We have a T-Rex.
We have a Hulk. Oh, wait, wrong one.
They do move in herds.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first films I think that my brother went to. We all went as a family, and there are adults coming out of the film scared. One guy came over to my parents and said, was he not bothered by that? And they were like, no, he loved it.
Well, little boys love dinosaurs. They always do.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no kid that on heaven or earth would not move to see a dinosaur.
I just remember the epic score as well.
Yeah.
That had such good
Yes.
music.
You don't get better, but that was Williams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was Williams in prime.
Yeah, you don't get better than Williams. Da-na-na-na-na. Copyright. Da-na-na-na-na-na-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I think, to be
And Warner
fair,
Brothers took down the stream.
yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Spielberg owes a lot of his success to Williams, because he scored a lot of his films.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler disagrees. Dinosaurs are boring. CGI music were phenomenal, but the movie was dull. When you see the dinosaur for the first time, I remember going back to the theater multiple times to see this movie. And it was like for like 3 or 4 weeks. I remember my dad being like, do you want to go see Jurassic Park again? Yeah, sure. But that first scene you see where you see the brachiosauruses, you can't help, and it'll still happen. I've got them on 4K. I'll throw them on the 4K, and I still get that little tingle up my spine when I see those damn brontosauruses, and you hear that music, and it's all combined, and it's just like you can't help but be like, holy shit, and get the weebie-jeebies. Well,
that was so groundbreaking at the time, the CGI on that. I mean, I had never seen anything quite that realistic before.
It was also one of the first films that really combined practical effects, puppets, animatronics, CGI, and just constantly switching them so your eye can never get adjusted to it.
Well, so
they never quite looked fake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stan Winston Studios that made the animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
And who can
he is triggered?
Who can forget Robin Williams and Hook?
Oh man. We were talking backstage just a little while ago about what was it?
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. That when they were such good friends, Robin Williams and Steven Spielberg, that when he was making Schindler's List, he was in like a whole nother world of. He was depressed. He didn't want to finish the movie. They had a hard time getting him to get up and do it. He hated doing that movie. And as much as he hated it, he knew he had to finish it. But Robin Williams was calling him up like every other day, every week, and pretending to be other people and making him laugh so that he could finish that movie.
God, I miss Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, Mexican Iron Man's giving us a cup of red coffee.
Caffeine. Caffeine. A $4 super sticker from Mexican Iron Man is a pair holding out a cup of caffeine.
I think that's
Thank you so very much.
I think that's a red Fanta.
It's a red Fanta. Thank you so very much for the red Fanta, Mexican Iron Man. The Rite of Spring segment in Fantasia. Indeed, I do. I just watched Fantasia the other day. Hunter Dvorak.
Yes, I remember that.
So,
That is my blood.
God. Count Dankula approves from Derek McManus. I thought Hook was kind of underwhelming, though. I don't know. I've always had a love-hate with Hook. I wanted more Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got plenty of Hook. I mean, we got Hook. There's no denying we got Hook.
Technically, the film, I think, looked great and the cast was good. I thought the story was kind of weak. When you take away, the huge sets and the effects and the fact that it's Robin Williams and Julia Roberts and who was it that played Hook? Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Story was a bit, but I still enjoyed it for what it was.
What is it that Toodles says? Better learn to fight, better learn to crow, better get Maggie, better get Jack, Hook is back. I remember that in the commercials and being like, holy shit. And you see like the hook, the sparks, and then the hook.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Man.
Hey, it was worth the price of admission just to see Julia Roberts in the Tinkerbell outfit. Yes, I'm a toxic male.
And Psychodorf 9 with the $2 super chat. Got early reporting today, but I'll be listening. Thank you so very much, Psychodorf 9. Skull, brother.
Bob Hoskins was also in Hook, wasn't he?
He
God,
was,
Mexican Iron Man, you just hate it. You hate it all.
The great Bob Hoskins was in there as Mr. What was it? What was it?
Smee,
wasn't it?
Smeedy.
Yeah.
Smeed.
Yeah.
I do remember that film being marketed everywhere, though.
Yes.
1941, yeah. Jedi Bill.
We were talking about that before, how great John Belushi was in that. Man, that guy was a comedy genius.
Another actor taken way too soon because of stupid bullshit.
Well, drugs in Hollywood. Him and Carrie Fisher did a bunch of drugs, I think.
That was one of those movies that like cemented the end of her career.
Yeah,
because she was doing too much BS and other things.
Yeah, 1941, I do vaguely remember, but it's one I haven't seen for a long time. But I know it had a really big cast because it had Don Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
bunch of the SNL cast were on it, plus just a bunch of other big names.
And Hamlin's Strategy 89. I have to say, he may have hated Jaws, but there's a reason the world constantly rewatches it. It's not because of the shark. And I think eventually that's what he had to get in his head was that this giant mechanical menace that he created was a piece of junk. He did not have the technology to do what he wanted at the time, but he did it anyway, and it worked. Because you never saw the damn thing.
Exactly, because you don't see it for such a long period of time, it leaves it up to your imagination, and that makes the shark way more terrifying.
Yep.
That thing was such a piece of crap. He had to shoot around it for the whole film until the very end.
Yep.
And it kept sinking, if I remember correctly. Every time they put it in the water, it just sank. They'd lost about 3 of them.
And was the Lord of the $2 super chat. Roger Rabbit is my jam, Hoskins. Please.
Yep. And I believe Spielberg was a producer on Roger Rabbit.
Yes, he was. But Eddie. Oh, shit.
But I talked just like this.
That character gave me nightmares.
Oh, dude. It was another one of those like things you never expected at the end of that movie for oh my god,
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. I kept thinking Lloyd Bridges. I was like, it's not Lloyd Bridges, Christopher Lloyd. It's one of those things you just don't expect.
No, you don't expect him to be the heavy.
And I always felt so bad for that one Toon shoe that gets put in the dip.
Too soon, Josh. Too soon.
No, I'm sorry.
I have a love-hate relationship with that film.
Tim Curry. Wow, really? I could see that. Tim Curry was supposed to be Judge Doom, but was thought to be too scary, so they got Christopher Lloyd instead. Wow, really?
Christopher Lloyd is the restrained scary version.
Oh shit! Well, don't you know? Every time they need like the perfect villain, they went for Curry.
Yeah,
he played what? He was the devil. He was the beast, the darkness.
Pennywise.
He was a Transylvania. Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, Transylvania transvestite. I did not know Tim Curry tried to voice the Joker. Really?
Yep.
That's insane. I always thought it was really cool that they had him on Marvel and DC at the same time, because he was playing Hobgoblin in Spider-Man in the Marvel cartoon, and he was playing the Joker in the Batman DC.
And he used the same voice.
Yep, and he used the exact same voice. Yes. Yeah, he even showed up. Yeah, I remember he was the not the butler, but he was the house. He was the hotel manager.
Yeah.
In Home Alone 2. He was Pennywise.
Yeah.
Tim, I did not know he was in Fern Gully. That's another one I haven't watched since it was like on VHS. I haven't watched Fern Gully in forever.
Is it X he was called or something like that?
Yeah, he's the smog monster there.
Yeah.
The smog monster.
Texas, that was it.
What was the smog monster's name? Hedora? Was it Hedora?
I think it was Texas.
It's been way too long since I've seen that movie.
Which also had Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Hedora, yeah. Godzilla versus Hedora. Hedora is the smog monster. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
It's one of those things that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta figure out. Yeah, Hunter Dvorak, Hedora. Yeah,
Which smog monster we're talking about?
Someone said smog monster, and I had to make sure I wasn't going crazy. Tim Curry was the villain in McHale's Navy with Tom Arnold. Yes, he was.
I forgot about that.
Yes, he was. And if you ever watch the cutscenes for Command and Conquer 3,
Mhm.
he is funny as hell, and he cannot keep the lines to himself because he thinks they're so over the top, and just you see him smiling when he's doing the lines for this game, and he just can't stop. He's like, every 2 minutes he's wanting to just crap up, and apparently the film crew was fucking with him too. So it's like, he's there making this video game. He's like, I'm gonna make a video game, and he just couldn't help himself. He's constantly almost busting out and laughing his ass off while he's doing the cutscenes for Command and Conquer 3. Remember the part in Schindler's List when the little kid and all the townspeople were throwing rocks and horse shit at the Jewish people as they left? That's true. Hashtag Gina was right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Schindler's List was a great movie. It's one of those you have to kind of sit down to appreciate. I think everyone should watch Schindler's List at least once.
Yeah.
It's not an easy film to get through though.
No, it's not.
Especially the extended edition,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is what I've got. Is the extended edition. I don't remember where I got that in 4K or not. I know the last time I watched it, I was just like, damn.
Yeah,
think
that's a punch in the gut watching that thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that both Jurassic Park and Schindler's List were done in the same year, and then almost polar opposites.
Yeah. And I loved that Saving Private Ryan. That was a great film too.
Did he direct that or did he produce it?
I think he directed it.
He did. Yeah, he did direct it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. That Normandy battle sequence is phenomenal.
You know, all the battle scenes were phenomenal. I mean, it was just when they were on the tank, and then the rounds would hit and people would just blow apart. That was so realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that thing, was probably one of the most horrific war pictures I've ever seen in my life.
I think I've seen that movie. 3 times. I watched it when it came out, when it was in the theater. I watched it when it came out on DVD, and then I think I watched it last year or the year before when it came out on 4K.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've only watched it 2 or 3 times. It's another one of those films that's really hard to watch.
And I agree. Hunter Dvorak, Tim Curry is like Jeff Goldblum. You just can't stop loving it. Yeah, no, you can't.
So best of Tim Curry next week.
Oh, we got so sidetracked. What about some? I'm gonna bring up some. We already kind of touched on AI.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Minority Report. I could completely do without.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Ugh, yeah. Everyone says don't watch that, so I'll probably skip that one. War of the Worlds.
Keep Indiana Jones pure for you, Purple.
Now, I would admit, when I went to see War of the Worlds in the theater and I saw the tripods for the first time, I was like, "Holy shit, they nailed it!"
That was the best part of the movie, was the actual depiction. They looked a lot like what everything I had read in the books, looked like.
His version is more accurate to the book.
Yeah.
And when they start like just disintegrating people and turning them into ash, and their clothes are still there. I was like, holy shit, that is badass.
And spewing all the blood out.
I love that. I really did.
Then the bratty son who just ran into that wall of fire and he's somehow fine. Come on.
The ambience in the movie, though, like when they're in that house and that plane comes down and the house is shaking and all of that, I thought that was fucking epic. The sound of that movie The visuals were great. It's just
Technically, it's a solid film.
Mhm.
yeah.
I just didn't like Tom Cruise in it. I thought he
That's one of the biggest problems.
that's probably the biggest problem because he was just overacting and a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
And Hamlet's strategy in '89 brings up a good point. AI really, really upset the little kid in me. Hit a childhood primal note, fear of abandonment. He's abandoned by who he thinks is his mother, his parents, which brings up a very good point. Should people who lose a child be able to buy a new one to replace?
And then just discard it when, he actually is fine. Oh, okay.
Well, they never come out and say it, but they get recalled. That's the problem. Is all the AI get recalled. They're going to dump them. You assume this is because an AI did something to a human. They fought back. They rebelled something, so it gets recalled. And that's it. It's over. Get out. Go. Run. Flee.
And that little teddy bear.
Yes.
Annoying little teddy bear, whatever it was.
Because you know that they know who owns these things. When you buy one, it's all registered. So it's not like you can just, we lost it. And MB Geek, let's talk with $2 super chat. Removing silicone, listening to Loki works for me. Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember watching the film. I think it was too long. It went on for way too long. And I think, as you said, the message underneath is, can you replace a child? Well, no.
Nope. That movie was just depressing as hell to me.
It was robots, Soul Assassin. Those were the evolved robots. Earth went into an ice age. The robots survived and eventually started digging out, and exploring the planet, and they find their ancient prototype of what they would become and turn him back on.
And then somehow recreate his mother for just one day.
Yeah.
From hair,
I guess.
Yeah.
And her personality and everything. I mean, her total being from, piece of hair or whatever. That was a little different.
Darth Haster, I wish I never watched The Stand 2020. We're going to have a panel. I know that nobody expected that, but we are going to have a panel for that damn series, because that series, there are little moments, very little moments where you can see greatness in that series. And then they just shit all over it. It's the weirdest damn thing I think I've ever experienced, where I'm like, man, this one scene is so great in this episode, and the rest is complete and utter crap. Scariest movie I ever saw was The Monster Squad. Duncan Reiger made me cry, but I begged to see it again the next weekend. That got brought up, Hunter. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That got brought up, Hunter, was Christian Bale in Empire of the Sun, and me going, "Oh my God, was it really?" Because I hadn't seen that movie since I was a kid. Go ahead, Purple.
I was going to say, which of his films has the most emotional impact to you guys? For me, it would probably be E.T. Is that, it's a film I can go back to and enjoy every time.
I don't know. For me, I guess it would have to be Saving Private Ryan, because I'm a big war buff history, and that film right there, just typifies what the greatest generation did for us.
I would probably have to agree with Dave Bob because the combat in that movie is just so intense, and it really does capture the feeling of like the Normandy invasion and stuff like that, and just just watching like your friend just suddenly just collapse, like just damn.
You know what? It's going to be weird because you guys probably won't. Last Crusade, and it's because of the relationship between Indy and his dad.
I can see that.
Yeah.
For me, when he's at the end of that movie, when Indy's reaching for the cup and his dad's like, Indiana, let it go. And it's like there's just this moment of father and son that's pure for me. And it gets me every time. I can't help it. Just sitting here talking about it has almost got me because it's that perfect moment. Yeah, Hunter, let it go. Yeah,
it is a brilliant film, and I just say that Sean Connery, he was such a good in that role. He really nailed it. You believed that they were father and son.
Yeah.
There's only like a 12-year age difference between them or something like that.
It's hard to believe the way they did it. That is very hard to believe. And Melissa Lord, I don't know why the hell they made. I don't know, because they got to screw with everything, because they got to subvert our expectations, because they have to bring it into the now. I don't know.
They're creatively bankrupt.
Yeah, they're creatively bankrupt, and they thought, oh wow, we'll subvert their expectations and do this completely the wrong way.
Made me laugh that they brought it out, a TV series about a global pandemic whilst we're in a global pandemic.
While we're in a global, that's just yeah. Let's see. Did we miss anything else? We've got Lost World, which I don't think was anywhere near as good as Jurassic Park.
No, I think it didn't capture the magic of the first one.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. I didn't think it was as bad as a lot of people made it out to be, but it wasn't as good as the book.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one. I can comment.
I liked the book better. It was very visual, Ready Player One, and if you're into video games, there's a lot of kind of Easter eggs that you can kind of pick up on. Everything from the holy hand grenade to characters from various games, and
not just that. My best friend, guys, Bartleby, who pops on here sometimes. I know Bartleby and Loki. He calls me up in the middle of the fucking night, and after he watches that movie, and I had just seen it for the second time. I saw it in the theater, and I saw it when it came out on disc. He calls me up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, hello, and he goes, Anal nathrak utvas bethad dothiel yenbe, and I'm like, what? And I just watched Ready Player One, and they said it. Of course, we liked Excalibur back in the day, so of course he knows what Merlin's words are, and the fact that they're using that in the movie, absolutely epic for anyone who loves 80s movies. Check out Ready Player One for everything from Back to the Future to the not the Stand, but the Shinin boy. The only thing I wish they had on that was the Master Chief from Halo coming out with like a plasma blade versus Darth Vader. Lucasfilm would not let them use Darth Vader in the big fight scene where all the heroes and villains are fighting each other. They would not let them use Darth Vader because they're cocksuckers. Disney's
I can't believe Lucasfilm would be just not usable people, or just
Because if that would have been George, we would have got a scene where the Master Chief pulls out his plasma blade and Vader pulls out his lightsaber and they clash.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been just the most epic fucking scene in pop culture history. I would have loved that. I would have absolutely positively lost my shit if I'd seen that. Best movie of all time. Just for that.
That would have been good free advertisement for Lucasfilms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who doesn't?
I liked it for what it was.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like the iconic Vader. I mean, I actually tried to watch that film. I guess I'm just not into the video games as much. I had a hard time getting through that movie.
It's not an easy movie to get through. That should be like candy for pop culture people. Okay, that's what that movie should have been. That movie should have been a snack for anyone that loves pop culture. Guys, every week, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., we get together and we talk pop culture. That's what we do. That's the whole point of the show. Originally, it was pop culture therapy. Before it was Mornings of Mischief. The original idea was pop culture therapy. Let's talk and get all this shit that we've got.
I remember those days.
So before it was Mornings of Mischief, the idea was
time ago.
Yeah. And that movie should have been the quintessential popcorn pop culture phenomenon, and it wasn't. It came off as not, something wasn't right. It didn't get put together right. There wasn't love, and when I mean love put into it, love crafting it. It felt like they did this movie and they didn't know why they were doing this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, but it shouldn't have been that way.
Yeah, it didn't have any heart.
Yeah.
The visuals were there and it looked good. And like you say, it should have ticked all the boxes with anyone who loves pop culture, but there was no heart behind it. There was no soul.
So yeah, before we get going, we have saved the best for last. Yes, Hunter Dvorak. I was getting there. Gremlins. Gremlins was a Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't. That's like they told him you can't make a monster movie for Christmas. Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, I can. Christmas, da 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 da. Christmas, and yes, he did.
You can't have Tony Curtis voice a monster.
When the most iconic scene in that movie is them all in that movie theater singing "Hi Ho." They're watching Snow White and they love it.
Oh God, I love Gremlins, and I remember how much of an uproar there was when that film was released, because it was so kind of out there for people thought it was going to be a kids film, and then they took kids to see it and realized what it actually was. It's basically a horror film.
Dun
But-
dun 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 dun. Yeah, the second movie was more of a kids movie,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they toned it down.
even though it's funny. It's funny as hell. I love that movie. I love both of them. I think what was it? I've got to give me just a second because it's the first time I ever saw this guy, and I saw him in multiple things after that, and loved him in everything he did. It's two.
One thing I would love to have is a life-size gremlin. I know they make them because I've seen them, but that would be pretty awesome to have.
John Glover. So John Glover plays Daniel Clamp, the guy who owns the building. And he would go on to play Lionel Luthor in Smallville. And he's in a series that I absolutely loved back in the day. And I'm trying to find it. But he plays the devil.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Brimstone. So he plays the devil in this TV series called Brimstone, where this guy dies, this detective dies after he kills this guy for some reason. I don't remember exactly why, but and the devil makes him a deal. These 66 souls have escaped from hell, and he makes him a deal. You track them down and send these souls back to hell, and I'll give you your life back. And it was one of those, I laughed my ass off because he played the devil like Loki would play the devil. It was all mischief and mayhem and chaos. It was not evil per se, but he was mischievous and funny. And he was always turning up. He'd turn up as a cop, or he'd turn up as a crossing guard. He'd turn up as something and just annoy the shit out of him. And it was great actor. So underused. Anyway, I know we're getting off topic. I'm talking about John Glover. My love for John Glover instead of Steven Spielberg
or Tim Curry.
Oh yeah, Tim Curry and John Glover. We'll have to do a special, a two-parter. Tim Curry and John Glover.
That was a very good series. I had actually forgot about it till you brought it up because it was too short-lived.
Yes. And James Andrew Morrison, I want a Mad Professor Gremlin. You're not the only person. You're not the only one. I've got a popcorn gremlin from Gremlins, the original Gremlins movie, a popcorn one with the 3D glasses. I've got that one. But I need a Professor Gremlin in my life. Yes. Oh yeah.
I've got the Gizmo from the 1980s, but I really want the Bat Gremlin.
Oh, I forgot about that. The gargoyle one. Yeah, the one that gets turned into the gargoyle.
Or the spider one. That would be pretty cool.
I didn't even realize that John Glover was the voice of the Riddler in Batman.
He
I'm
was?
gonna have to go back and forget. I know he played that time guy because they did that really weird. They had him the Chrono Man or whatever the hell. But anyway, NECA makes a lot. Yeah, the Gremlin figure I have with the glasses and the popcorn. That's the NECA Gremlin. That's a NECA Gremlin. So we have talked about Steven Spielberg and what Steven Spielberg has done. Goonies, really quick, because Goonies is one of those movies that you just don't forget. You know, hey guys, come on, guys, do the truffle shuffle, bitch.
Fat shaming, that's so toxic.
Oh, I did not. Someone just sent me. He's doing the Halo TV series. He's the executive producer for Halo. I did not know that. That's supposed to be dropping this year. I wonder how bad they're going to butcher that.
He's also producing Gremlins 3. It's coming out too.
Yeah, Jurassic World Dominion, The Color Purple. They're remaking The Color Purple. I have no idea why they would ever do that. He's going to be a producer in Robopocalypse. That sounds like
they're doing a sequel to Tiny Toons.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Luniversity.
Oh no, they're gonna mess it up.
Do with it.
Well, they did Pinky and the Brain and
Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm. So why
and
not?
Freakazoid. That was a weird cartoon.
Devil's Advocate. Yes, Melissa Lord with a $2 super chat. We love you too, Melissa. And Devil's Advocate, Truffle Shuffle. Yes, indeed. Thank you so very much. You guys keep the fires burning bright in Valhalla, and we're going to give you all one really, really big skull. Skull! Burning it down for Gina Carano here on Mornings of Mischief. So, guys, what do you guys got going on? Dave Bob, what do you got going on, brother?
I think WandaVision Sunday is going to be the next thing. And that's pretty much all I've got this weekend.
WandaVision's going to be huge. What about you, Josh?
Well, as always, I'll be on Eris's show tomorrow afternoon. We will be covering a guy who is saying Man of Steel is the best Superman movie ever made. So, and Clobbering Times will be joining us for that.
Oh, shit.
So that should be fun.
That will be interesting. There are some things I like about Man of Steel, and there are
it has its moments, but it's still a terrible film.
I love the soundtrack. That's one thing me and Clobbering Times will butt heads about. I love the soundtrack. I absolutely love the soundtrack. But I love the original, the original too. So yeah. Purple Valkyrie. I know you guys got something going on later today, don't you?
We do indeed. Yeah. A little bit later than usual. At noon today, we are going to do a burlesque show, part 4. Going to have a Valentine special. So I'd love to see everyone there.
Is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait. The Valkyries, Purple Valkyrie and Samantha Joe will be smashing it like a piece of cheesecake, like Abby. Okay.
Oh, by the way, it's the Valkyries that are putting on the WandaVision. I'm just a member of the panel. They're the ones that have been bringing that to y'all for this time. So hats off to them.
Oh, thank you, Dave Bob. We're having a lot of fun with it.
And Mexican Iron Man with $4.99 super chat. Okay, so I know no one cares, but there's a Mexican in the freezer and a block of ice like that AI cute white kid. But if someone can let me out later, I think we'll just leave you in there for the weekend, Mexican Iron Man. I think we're just going to leave you in there for the weekend. Snowed up, got to get to work. Much love, guys. Skull and tuck and roll. Skull, brother. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. We will be back Monday. I think I'll be MIA all weekend. I don't know. No, we've got a meetup, don't we? Shit. I don't know. I'll update on the channel and I'll update on the Patreon. Member stream will be this weekend. I just don't know exactly what day it will be, but it will be in the future in the next couple of days. Anyway, everybody have a great one, and we will catch you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.